Halloween spooks outside your window. Halloween spooks beyond the trees. I wish all the children could see, but I can't find them for the life of me. It's Halloween spooks outside your window. Yeah. All right, look up Halloween spooks. It's a fantastic song. I mean, it's ridiculous and over the top.
Wait a minute.
What?
Are you claiming that we're here for some kind of holiday special?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
But what holiday could it possibly be?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on
St.
our
Patrick's
Thanksgiving
Day.
episode.
It's a wonderful Veterans
St.
Day.
Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
Memorial Day?
No, this is
4th of
Mother's Day.
July? Father's Day.
Leif Erikson's Day.
Leif Erikson's Day.
Okay, everybody, happy Halloween. Thanks for tuning in.
You're never going to guess what movie franchise we're covering.
It's Scream.
Child's Play.
We're talking Halloween.
Yes.
Okay, I think we might get
not
copyrighted for that.
working, by the way. That did not sound like the Halloween theme.
No,
You're not getting copyrighted. Don't
Okay.
worry.
They're not even going to know what the fuck that was.
All right.
So yes, we're talking Halloween. And the great thing about this franchise is what direction do you want this to take? You get to choose. Do you want Michael Myers to be the brother of Laurie Strode? You can do that.
There's a film for that.
Do you want Michael Myers not to be the brother of Laurie Strode?
There's a film for that.
Do you want Michael Myers to have grown up in a trailer park?
There's a film for that.
Do you want Michael Myers to spend his childhood like in an insane asylum?
There's no film for that.
Kind of.
No, there is. That's like the majority of them. He starts off with the insane asylum.
The good thing
Do you
about
want him
this,
to be part of a creepy cult that actually is like worships Sam Heen or whatever, and it's like actually this whole elaborate conspiracy to keep Michael Myers alive?
There's a
Yes.
film for that.
There
you want
is.
there to be a movie that doesn't have Michael Myers as all?
There is a film for that.
Yes, this franchise is just as fucked continuity-wise as the X-Men movies. It's a shit show and it's hilarious. As you guys know, there was, of course, the recent 2018 Halloween movie, which ignores everything but the first one.
Yeah.
There's, of course, the traditional route where it goes Halloween 1, Halloween 2. Halloween 3, of course, had nothing to do with Michael Myers, then continued from there. Honestly, there's been, 17 fucking movies in this franchise. It's gotten a little ridiculous.
I think we're at the 11th or 12th one, to be
There's
honest.
a lot.
There's a
There's
lot.
a lot.
There's a lot of different directions this series has taken, and it's one of those things where someone can ask, "Hey, what order do I go in?" And you're just like, "Shit, I don't know."
Whichever order you want.
Whichever
Yeah.
order you want to go in.
What are you into? You know,
Yeah.
there's a Halloween film for you.
Somewhere out there, a director has made it. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, we're gonna talk about Halloween. It's a fun franchise, regardless. I think it's definitely kind of a, obviously the original one is a classic Halloween movie that everybody likes to watch around this time of the year.
Yeah, it's critically praised, and the audiences love it, and I think for very good reasons. The first one is a all-time classic.
It's a great movie. It does almost the impossible for me, which is it makes a slasher movie stylish and great. I mean, all slasher movies are stylish, but I mean, it takes like a classy approach to slasher films.
Unfortunately, not all slasher movies are stylish.
Not all,
but
you know
the
what I mean.
good
by
ones,
That. You know
yeah.
what I meant by that. I meant like a lot of the classic ones have style, but I think that the separates Halloween from even the other classics is that it's just so well made, so beautifully executed. It has its own style. The fucking music is phenomenal. And I mean, that goes way beyond just the title card. The entire music.
Oh, yeah.
And the usage of music is great.
Very, really cool little tidbit. Just up front, we're going to be talking about primarily focusing on Rob Zombie's Halloween and the new Halloween Kills, which is the
newest entry.
the fifth version of like them trying to reboot this whole franchise that is like such
Well, it's a
clusterfuck.
continuation from the 2018 Halloween.
Yeah, just like, wiping away all the other ones and stuff, whatever. But we're going to do a little background info on just like the original Halloween. And it's like originally when John Carpenter was trying to sell the movie to major studios, they all turned it down. They watched the film without music and they were like, it's not scary. It doesn't work for me. It's too generic, whatever. And then he went back and added the music. They wrote it in 3 days and it is amazing. It's really one of the greatest film scores of all time. Yeah, extremely iconic, used, still creepy, scary.
One thing I'd like to
Fantastic.
say too is that it's not even just how great the music is, but it's how they utilize it, like especially in certain scenes where Michael Myers is kind of just stalking his victims, and they just have those like cues. It's very synthy.
Yeah.
It's got this just beautiful style to it.
Feels sharp.
Yeah. And if we want to talk about the original one too, I would like to say one thing that makes it better than pretty much anything that's come after it. How reserved it is, because I've watched let me tell you, this week I've watched quite a few Halloween movies. I didn't watch all of them, but I watched a good amount. And one thing I'll say about the original is, aside from the opening kill, which is of course the infamous he kills his sister when he's a little kid,
Yeah.
aside from that, there's a couple off-screen deaths. You really don't see Michael Myers do much until like the hour mark.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I don't know, Halloween 2018, where he just like immediately starts walking into houses and stabbing people. Or even the Rob Zombie one, where like within the first 10 minutes, it seems like he's already killing people.
Yeah, he's a little psycho kid, but
so
we'll get into that one.
The first one, obviously John Carpenter is pretty well established. It's a John Carpenter movie. It builds tension really, really
He wasn't that established with the first one. He'd only made, I think it was Pelham, or I forgot, Precinct, something. I'm sorry that we were lacking our researcher today. We should also start off by saying,
by the way,
by the way,
this is a little bit of a speaking of Halloween, done on a shoestring budget, like really kind of slapped together. This episode is a little slapped together. We're just working today with me, Ron,
Blake,
and our special guest today,
and
filling in.
Special guest filling in. It's me, Rosie.
Hey, Rosie. She was here for our
Miles,
Dexter episode.
Jason, and Philip are all missing in action.
Yeah, they're not able to make it here today, so we kind of had to pick up the pieces today.
Yeah, well,
We're missing our lead researcher and our producer and sound mixer.
Yeah, so we're basically missing everybody.
Yeah.
I think if you watched our Dexter episode, we're recording this on the same day. I think it's fair to say that.
What?
No. So, this is, like I said, this is what happens when the band doesn't have their manager. So if this comes out terrible, you'll understand how important Miles, Jason, and Philip are to this entire operation.
Absolutely.
We could get into their whereabouts, but we don't want to spoil anything for Halloween. So.
Yeah, I don't think legally we can say where they're at.
It's a real... I don't know. I was going to say a scary thing. I couldn't think of one. Can everyone just pretend like I made a really funny, clever Halloween joke just now?
Okay, so let's start off by going over our personal histories with the franchise. What movies have you guys seen, and what are your general thoughts on them? Blake, let's start off with you.
Well, I watched the original one in high school, and honestly, I liked it, but I don't think I quite got the hype behind it.
Yeah.
I rewatched it this week, and, much more seasoned now. Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. But other than that, I've seen Halloween 1, Halloween 2. I know that I've seen one of the shitty ones, like in high school, but I couldn't tell you which one. Maybe it was H2O. And then I've seen the 2018 one, of course, since we're talking about it, Halloween Kills, and the 2007 Rob Zombie Halloween.
All right, that's...
And I like the franchise. I think that the first one, there's an immediate drop in quality from the first one, but they're all kind of fun in their own ways.
Yeah, that's fair. I started off, I think the first Halloween movie I saw was actually Rob Zombie's Halloween back in 2007.
That's unfortunate.
What?
Yeah, no, that was the first one I saw. I went to the theaters with my mom, and
Oh my god, there's so many boobies in that movie.
I want to thank my mom for not walking out of the theater with me. Her only thing that she said as we were leaving the theater was, "I didn't like that," and I was like, "Yeah, me neither." That was like my first real introduction to it. I was not that familiar with. I mean, I was familiar with the franchise as much as it kind of bleeds into the zeitgeist. Like everyone kind of knows their own thing. But later I went back and I watched the original one and I loved it. And I had watched that one tons of times. Like I've seen the first one so many times. It's become, a little tradition, of course, on Halloween, watch it and whatever. Outside of that one, I'd seen H2O like back in the day too. When I'm pretty sure I saw that one after I saw the original. And that was its own experience. Again, really weird. There's a part where they use a CGI Mike Myers mask, which looks awful. That one is, problematic. LL Cool J's in that one.
Yes, he
security
is.
guard. Yeah. And then I watched, and then this week I watched the sequel to the original one, which has its own kind of charm to it. It's
got like its bad 80s movie charm to it.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a far cry from the original.
Oh, yeah. And then I, of course, watched Halloween 2018, and I watched now Halloween Kills, which is, again, one of our main focuses
we'll talk
today.
about that.
Yeah, we will. Okay. Rosie, what's your familiar?
Hey, so, I know I've seen the first two. I think I've seen bits and pieces of like H2O. I don't think I've seen the third one. There's so many, it's like hard to
The third one is
track
the
them.
Have you seen
Michael Myers one.
Resurrection? That's the one with Busta Rhymes. I think Manny's talked about it a lot, so that's why I assume that like maybe you've seen little bits of it. I don't know.
Actually, what year did that one come out?
That was like 2005 or something.
Okay, I think that's the one that I'm thinking about, but I don't totally remember. My first experience with Halloween, though, it was on Halloween, right? And I was like just a kid. Manny is my brother; he's 4 years older than me. He put it on Halloween and was watching it, and immediately I was like, "No, fuck this! I'm gonna go in my room and watch like The Grinch Stole Christmas. Like this looks scary." And then literally the next morning, like, I almost tripped getting out of my bed because he was asleep next to my bed on the floor because he was so scared to go to sleep by himself.
How old were you at this point?
I was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5. Like I was just a kid. I was
super
like
young.
really young.
And Manny was really young.
Yeah,
then too.
yeah. So I could totally understand his reaction. So for the longest time, like I didn't watch them because I was just like, nope, I'm not doing that. But yeah, now that I'm older, I have seen like not most of them. There's so many. But recently, just this year, I've seen the Rob Zombie one, the 2018 Halloween, and then Halloween Kills.
Awesome.
Just this week.
All right.
So should we just jump into the
Halloween.
Rob Zombie, or should we kind of break down the original really quick?
Yeah, let's break down the original super quick. I mean, everyone, if you're listening to this, you've
probably seen it.
you've seen the original one. If you haven't, go watch it.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, that is like,
Watch the original. It's great.
Yeah, watch the original.
Owe it to yourself.
I guess I could break it down really quick.
Break it down now.
So the OG Halloween movie picks up with Michael Myers as a kid. He's a regular kid by all accounts, but he snaps and he murders his teenage sister. He then spends the next 15 years, I believe it is, of his life in
an insane asylum.
in like a psych ward. And then on his 21st birthday, his psychiatrist is going out to visit him to basically petition, like, hey, absolutely do not let this guy out. He's a menace to society.
Yeah, who is played by Professor Loomis.
No, that not played by.
That is the professor.
Donald Pleasance?
Yeah, Donald Pleasance, who is like, a pretty well-known actor. He probably most
He
famously.
kind of hams it up in this series.
Yeah,
It's great.
He played what's it called? Blofeld in I think You Only Live Twice in
Oh my
James
God.
Bond. Yeah. Which, by the way, go listen to our James Bond episode.
So Dr. Loomis drives up to petition. He's turning 21. I think he's up for release. And they're just like, hey, absolutely do not let this guy out of the insane asylum. He's a problem to society. He can't be let out.
He's pure evil.
He's pure evil. That's what Dr. Loomis says over and over and over again in every iteration of this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Michael Myers escapes, steals Dr. Loomis's car, and goes back to where it all started for some reason. And I'd like to
Holdfield,
point out,
Illinois.
at this point, they're not brother and sister yet.
No.
And I don't think they were supposed to be.
No,
no, it
I don't
doesn't
think
seem
so.
that way.
But anyways, that's beside the point. We'll get to that later. The point being, Michael Myers returns home and starts killing teenagers. Laurie Strode, played, of course, by Jamie Lee Curtis, kind of gets wrapped up in it. And as the whole town is kind of erupting into, not chaos, but, kind of terrified, there's like this myth of the boogeyman, which is another word for Michael Myers throughout the entire series.
Yeah, the boogeyman, the shape,
The shape.
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. As Michael Myers goes on his
Or
killing spree,
Mikey.
Laurie Strode gets kind of caught up with him, and it has this great little small climax where Laurie Strode is able to kind of fight him off, and Dr. Loomis shows up and shoots him
6 times in the
six
chest.
times.
Bam, bam, bam,
And
bam.
there's this great line, was that the boogeyman? And he just responds, as a matter of fact, it is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Michael Myers has escaped, kind of revealing that he's maybe some kind of entity, and that's the entire first movie, and it's great.
It's awesome. Rob Zombie. Now let's move on to his his iteration of.
Oh, and we should also say that the second movie introduces the fact that Laurie Strode is actually a sister.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of something
What?
that's something that kind of follows the series in multiple variations up until the 2018 reboot. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
There's some they eventually some versions she's not his sister.
In some versions she is.
Yeah.
Just his obsession.
Yeah, which I think, by the way, the way that they kind of explain Michael's obsession with Laurie in the first one, at least how it seems, is she just walks up to the house to drop off some like a key or something, or to pick up a key from the Myers house because her father is selling the house, and she sees him, and she sees him with sees her with a little kid that she's babysitting, Tom or Tommy. And I think in that point you kind of realize that he is like maybe projecting himself on a Tommy, and he sees her as kind of like his big sister thing, and then he goes on a hunting spree to kill not just her, but he's kind of like just on a regular murdering spree. But she becomes his particular object of obsession.
Also, though, she kind of just walks into it, though, too, later on. Like, he's stalking her, but, like, the climax only really happens because she kind of stumbles into the midst of it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you.
But anyways, Rob
and also she gets away, which is, like, I think another big driving factor. That
unfinished business, if you will.
Yeah. She's the girl that got away.
The boy who lived.
Yeah. So let's get into Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. Very different, but also very similar in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
The main difference being that Rob Zombie decides to dive into the origins and the mind of Michael Myers, kind of. And so it starts off with Michael as a little boy who is like this real, like, piece of work. He's basically like living in an abusive household. His mom is a stripper. She's kind of like she's there, and then she's not, and then his stepdad is like this
total asshole.
Yeah, some psycho asshole who is like
Who can't walk.
Yeah, he's all like, he's a deadbeat dude, and who also pretty much abuses Michael. Like, it's implied that, like, he's at least somewhat abusive to him, if not verbally and emotionally, but like probably physically.
Plus, also the sister, she's got a big dump truck on her.
Yeah, she makes very inappropriate comments.
Yeah, he's a stepdad.
Just to start out, my criticisms...
that doesn't make it any better. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just clarifying.
Just to start out, my criticisms of... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, does it have anything to do with hair?
No.
Yeah, because Rob Zombie's got a real thing for guys with long hair. There's a lot of dudes with long hair in his movies.
Just to start out my criticisms, however, is this a failed attempt at like a nuanced take? Because it's so over the top that it's just unrealistic. Or it like literally it opens and like the stepdad's like smoking and like, your daughter's got a real dump truck of an ass. Like,
well, let's finish breaking down the first one, and then we'll get into it. So basically, Michael is not only just like living in like some ridiculous, unfit, abusive household and everything where everyone's anxiety levels are turned up to 11. He's also mutilating animals and like torturing like small things and stuff, and showing all the signs of a young serial killer. He's also getting bullied at school, again by a super over the top bully, but whatever. He eventually get like there's like the teachers try to like basically confront him, and they bring in Dr. Loomis, which is interesting.
Played by Malcolm McDowell. Who I really like. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like a lot of this movie. The only thing I like is Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, so he plays a very different version of Loomis, because he comes in and he's kind of like this like cocky psychiatrist dude.
Kind of like a hippie psychiatrist.
He's a bit of a hotshot. He's like, hey man, like we're here and we're gonna like try and help your kid and hopefully like like figure this whole thing out. What's really going on with him? He's obviously disturbed because look at all this shit. He had a dead cat in his backpack. Like what the hell? And he has pictures of like dead animals and shit. Whatever. The point is that Michael finally reaches his breaking point with his bully and then beats him to death. Then he goes home on Halloween, and then his sister refuses to take him out. So then he kind of goes trick-or-treating on himself, and then he snaps. Finally, he puts on a mask that like what's it called? Then he kills his stepfather by tying him to a chair and slitting his throat, and then beats his sister's boyfriend to death with a baseball bat. And then he puts on the famous, notorious Michael Myers mask.
Which the boyfriend just had for some reason.
Yeah, he just found. Which, to be fair...
in the original, he also just kind of gets the mask.
Yeah, in the original, it's just like a generic Halloween mask that he just picks up. So it's like, all right, that's fine. Which, by the way, another character has in the sequel to the original. Like, some poor kid is just wearing the mask, and then he gets hit by a fucking police car and catches on fire.
Oh my god, that was one of the funniest moments of the entire movie.
Hilarious. But anyway, so he puts on the mask, and then he stabs his sister brutally to death, and then he goes and sits outside, and here's a big difference too, he's got the little baby Lori with him, and then he goes outside and sits on the steps. His mom comes home, finds him, and then it goes into like, you know, the dark psyche of him is like, oh my god, is all his horror, all of the shit that he's done is revealed.
And he's weirdly obsessed with masks, which I got to be honest, I hate.
Yeah, he's
weird.
really obsessed with masks. That's a whole thing too. So then they go into like he gets put into a psych ward, and then they develop him and Dr. Loomis's relationship a lot more, where Loomis is actually visiting him over the course of like 20 years or something.
17.
17 years. We go over him, like he's trying to like to get something out of Michael. Michael turns into this gigantic man. It's like some like 6-7 foot
He's
dude.
I think he's 6'7" is the actor's height.
Yeah.
Holy
He's like
cow.
honestly, it's like ridiculous how tall he is.
Yeah, he becomes like a giant monster man. And then he, you know, he doesn't say a word for I think 15 years after he killed a nurse. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. He killed a nurse, and then that's like his final breaking point, because they basically tell him like you're never going home because of the horrible things you did. And then he kind of like snaps, and then eventually on Halloween or the day before Halloween, he decides to break out. He kills all his guards. He kills
Danny
Mikey,
Trejo.
Mikey,
Danny
I've been
Trejo.
good to you, Mikey.
Yeah, honestly, that scene always really stuck with me when he kills Danny Trejo. I'm like,
Aw,
oh, it's so
love you,
sad.
Danny
He was just nice to him.
Trejo.
But again, it goes on to show how
Brutal
dead and
ruthless.
lifeless, yeah, he is. And he's just pure evil. He doesn't care. This guy was like good to him for 15 years, and he just murders him or 17 years for like literally no reason. And then he eventually breaks out, and then basically the story unfolds as the original does. He becomes obsessed with Lori, his sister, because he sees her, and then he goes to the house, and then he somehow figures out that they're related, and then he tracks her down. He murders the other two girls who are extra topless throughout this movie, and then he goes on a murdering spree throughout the movie, and then it pretty much ends the same
A
way.
little different.
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell, of course, gets killed
Oh,
as Dr.
yes.
Loomis, and it ends with Laurie taking the killing, or well, assumingly the killing shot. I know there's a sequel, so obviously.
Yeah, she shoots him right in the head.
Although he doesn't feel nearly as
Invincible?
he doesn't. It's not even that he doesn't feel nearly as like supernatural in this one. He feels
Yeah.
much more like a hulking force of person.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Tank.
Let's go into like the major differences between this interpretation.
Well, actually, I have something I want to talk about with the difference and the similarities.
Okay.
Here's the weirdest thing about this movie to me.
Go.
It spends essentially the first 50 minutes or so, 45 to 50 minutes. The first 45 to 50 minutes are like essentially overkill and dedicated to like, this isn't your father's Halloween. Like, it's so over the top in another direction where it's like when Michael Myers grew up in a fucking trailer park and he kills rats and shit, and he's a fucking terrible evil psychopath, and he kills his entire family, and it goes so over the top in being like deconstructing every single thing about Halloween in bad ways mostly, but whatever, right? But then the next like 30 minutes hit such similar beats, not just in terms of plot elements, but like in some terms of visuals, where it's almost the exact same shot for shots in certain scenes, and then like even repeated dialogue. I just find it so odd that the first half, like more than the first half, I find it so odd that more than the first half would dedicate so much of its time to try to make itself so different, only to kind of just do the same thing. And not even just like, it's like the same story, but like literally beat for beat, line by line. It's
and
just
kinda-
odd to me.
It does it and a poorer version of it, which is unfortunate.
Because it has less time to do everything, so it's very rushed.
Yeah, it just kind of speed runs the original movie by like the last hour, which is unfortunate, because I will say the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it. I was like, it just felt like off. Like even though I hadn't seen the other Halloween movies, from what I knew of it, like it just felt weird. But like, you know, not necessarily in a bad way, but like reflecting on it now, giving it more time, rewatching it, there are some things I do like, and I do kind of admire it a bit for the, like, again, the first like hour where it does take it in a very different direction, because apparently when they approached John Carpenter about doing this and Rob Zombie, like, you know, making this remake, he said, go ahead, remake the movie. He's really open about people remaking his
Also,
movies.
he probably doesn't care.
Yeah, he was pretty much like, go ahead and remake it if you want to, just make it your own. And I think that's what Rob Zombie really tried to do. He really tried to make it a Rob
But it
Zombie's
feels like a middle
version of it.
schooler wrote it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So like the first half, it takes like, it does take some big measures to really, and to say what you will, because I didn't like that they really decided to dive into his origins and everything, because that really takes away a lot of his mystique and what makes Michael Myers such an interesting villain. it's like, the fact that he is this blank face, he's the shape, he's this like mindless, pure evil character. In this one, he's actually a bit more like it goes like the true crime kind of route of like the origins of like real serial killers and stuff, which
Yeah.
I understand. And so that I give him credit because it's like, that is interesting. It tries to be a more nuanced approach to Michael Myers.
Well,
But I think it fails again in the ultimate execution, and especially the ending, where it's like, again, it does kind of just speed run it, and it feels like all of that is kind of for naught. By the end, it's just like, it doesn't matter, he's just a pure evil shape. It doesn't ultimately really matter, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess so.
well, because here's my problem, right? One, like you said, it just fundamentally at this point just make something else. Like, why not just direct your own horror movie then? If you really
Which
want...
he has. He's
I know
done.
he has, but okay, you want to do a movie about like a little kid that grows up to be a serial killer, just make that movie. Because like you said, the whole point to me of Michael Myers, not that this is, let's not pretend like this is some great character. He's
It's like a
just,
sacred thing
yeah,
now.
it's like fuck it. Like the first Halloween's good and everything else pretty much is eh. But the thing that works in the first movie is that yeah, he's just a little kid that kills his sister for some reason, and now he's evil and also maybe supernatural. The whole reason is that yeah, he is a blank slate. So that nuance already feels kind of weird. But to top that off, the nuance is just bad. Like this really does come off like it was written by like an 8th grader to me. Like it's so over the top. Like
a bit harsh. But
like the stepdad is such a, like he's not just like
yeah.
he's such
He's
an
like a
asshole.
caricature of like an
But
asshole
they
stepdad.
all are. Like every
Yeah.
single
Yeah,
character.
the mom.
The
Oh
mom,
my god.
the stepdad, the sister, the
She's just like
bully.
slutty dumb kid. Yeah, the bully's just like, I'm a bully.
Yeah, like it's all just very like surface level shit. And then to top it off, like I said, I mean, I know that every movie since the original has fucked this up, but like I really like too is aside from the first killing, we don't see an on-screen kill until like later in the movie, and then when it happens, it's so brutal that it's like kind of shocking, right?
Yeah.
In this, it's like 5 minutes into the movie, he beats someone to death with like a stick.
Yeah, and it's really brutal.
And it's really brutal. And I don't know, it's just, I know that they're going for like the dirty, like trashy kind of look, but for me, it just wasn't a good take on that. I just feel like every single thing that was attempted here just falls flat. And like, I get it. If you want to do like a Michael Myers, like in the fucking psych ward, sure, just do it better. Now, I would like to point out, I did do a little bit of research. Rob Zombie did want to make 2 movies, which I guess he did eventually.
Yeah, he
but
did.
He wanted to make a movie strictly about the early years of like Michael Myers in the psych ward, but the studio wanted him to make more of a remake. So I think this was kind of his attempt at like a compromise of
Okay.
doing both. So that might explain the oddness.
Yeah, I feel like you see where the Rob Zombie vision runs out.
Yes.
Pretty much after he escapes, and which I do like his escape and his brutality, because
Really?
I think one thing that I do really credit Rob Zombie for trying to do and to bring back to the Michael Myers character is his relentless, unstoppable evil forceness to him, where it's like you see him coming and it's like you see a tornado coming at you. You can't really get away from it. You can maybe hide, but it's probably going to get you. I mean, that's not exact metaphor for tornadoes, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like the best thing you can do is just like take shelter and like pray to God it doesn't find you. But that's it. Like it's Michael Myers, like again, it's a little bit different because I think another big thing about it is the physicality that he brings to Rob Zombie, which I don't necessarily like, but I respect in a sense. It's like they make him this gigantic man who is like evil and beats the shit out of probably the best character in the movie, Joe Grizzly, bitch. Remember the giant dude at the truck stop or whatever that he beats up?
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
It's like this dude is like just as big as Michael, and it's like really one of the few times they actually do that, where they have this dude who could maybe take him on, but no, he just overpowers him like a fucking animal and just beats the shit out of him, takes a knife out of him, just like stabs him, and it's like, oh shit. Which again, they don't show him originally getting his jumpsuit in the first one. He just like kills some poor farmer dude like off the side of the road, and that's it. With this one, it goes a little bit more to it. So it's like I kind of get it, but it's like, man, it's like it would have been more interesting, I guess, to see what Rob Zombie was really wanted to do.
I still don't think it would
I
have
don't
been
think
that
I don't
good.
think I would have liked it, but it would have been more interesting because like it runs out. It just like and then we're back to regular Halloween, and then it's just a little more brutal and a little more
Also,
boobs.
I know this is just like a Rob Zombie
Or sorry,
thing.
way more brutal and more boobs.
I know this is just a Rob Zombie thing, but does everybody have to be wearing like heavy metal shirts? It just like starts to feel silly, where it's like I could, okay, I think Michael Myers is wearing one, right?
Yeah, well, they first show him as a kid. He's has a Kiss T-shirt and he's
He has a
listening
Kiss
to God
shirt
of Thunder.
on. One of the girls has like a Slayer shirt on.
Yeah,
It's just like, I don't know. Like, does every character have to fucking have one on? Like, I get you when I throw it in, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find like
No, they don't.
fundamentally everything about this movie to me just feels like overkill. It just goes way over the top. Which I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna pretend like this is some sacred fucking franchise, but you know, it's just that's most of my opinion for this. Do you want to talk about Malcolm McDowell? Because he's maybe the only thing I like. So first of all, I love me Malcolm McDowell.
yeah.
Whether it be, of course, the classic A Clockwork Orange,
Oh, I
or
thought you were gonna say Doomsday. Yeah.
or whether it be Heroes, where he plays Linderman.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in Heroes.
Malcolm McDowell is great in everything. And I actually kind of like this take on Loomis. Yeah. So Loomis in the original is just, Donald Pleasance kind of hams it up a lot. He's very much like, can you do an impression? I feel like you'd do a good one.
I don't know. It's like he's pure evil.
He's pure evil, and he can't see the light of the day.
There's no soul in his eyes.
Look at those eyes. So Donald Pleasant Malcolm McDowell is playing a bit of a different take on the character.
Again, trying to be more nuanced.
Which
Not
I
exactly
actually
succeeding,
like.
but it's a little more
This
that he's
is
trying to
the-
give to him. So
this-
I respect the effort, but yeah.
This is the only thing I like about this is their kind of take on Loomis. I still don't think it's great, but I like it. So Malcolm McDowell is playing kind of like a more nuanced one. He's kind of like a hippie kind of psychiatrist. One thing I find odd is that he feels both sympathetic but also kind of like an asshole. You know what I mean? Because on one end, he feels like he's actually really trying to understand Michael, and I like
Yeah.
all that stuff. I like all the stuff of him in the psych ward where he's just like,
He just can't get through to
he's
him.
trying to reach him. And maybe it's the only fucking scene I like in the whole movie is that scene where he just tells Michael, he's like, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. I have to move on with my life. And you can tell it's actually kind of like hurting him.
Yeah.
Where he's like Michael, you're like, as fucked up as it is, you're like my best friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I have to say goodbye to you. But also at the same time, he's kind of an asshole because he like writes the book and everything.
Yeah, which is
Exploits the
something.
situation.
Yeah, he really does. He tries to exploit it more. He writes this mega selling book and he becomes like this big famous author because he wrote the story about Michael Myers, right? And it's like he's selling his soul, whatever, to basically just like, to get some money and fame out of this really
Fucked up
effed up story.
situation.
Yeah.
But I like him, and I actually really like him at the end too. This is the only. Sorry, there's two scenes I like in this movie. I guess. Sorry, everybody. The only other scene I like, and I think it's mostly Malcolm McDowell. It's probably not the source material, but that scene where just Michael Myers is about to presumably kill Laurie, I guess, and he walks up and he's like, "Michael, stop! It's me." But he really sells that. I actually kind of hear him in that character. He really is just pleading with him. He's like, "Michael, it's me.
on,
Don't
man.
you recognize me? Like, come
Yeah.
on, buddy. Let's go home." Like, I don't know. That was actually like weirdly, it's kind of a sweet moment. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. But I
same
think.
with.
Oh, sorry, go. No.
Same with Danny Trejo. When he's
Same,
like,
Danny Trejo.
yeah,
that
when
was-
he's like, "Oh, come on, man! I gotta put these handcuffs on you. What did you do? Come on, man!"
Yeah, which I think that's where they kind of undermine that emotional connection with with Loomis, because this guy, if anyone was really going to have a connection to, it could have been Danny Trejo's character, because he really was just buddies with him for 17 years, or at least he tried to be. And then we have that scene where he's like, "Don't do this, Mikey. Like, come on, Mikey." That scene always stuck with me, by the way. That was the most disturbing scene for me the whole time, where he's just pleading with him, like,
It's
"Come on, man."
between him
kind
drowning.
of feels like
Yeah.
a callback to Halloween 2.
Yeah. When he's like,
Not as-
he drowns
ironically,
the nurse in
more
boiling
brutal,
water.
but not as brutal at the same time.
Yeah, because in Halloween 2,
It's like
Weirdly, that
boiling
makes
water.
sense.
yeah, he's drowning this lady who's topless, of course, and sticking her
Her
head in
face
boiling
is fucking
water.
burning off.
Yeah, yeah.
So bad.
But
believe
yeah,
this.
do you agree with the whole Malcolm McDowell thing though, where it's kind of a weird, sweet moment? With
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
But also, he's got like that magnum, which he's gonna blow his head off.
I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah.
I gotta find something I like, because I gotta be
Yeah.
honest. The last 30 minutes of this movie are hard to get through.
I feel like I checked out.
Yeah,
some
I
point.
think
I was
like you said, once the Rob Zombie vision ends, as bad as it is, at least it's watchable.
Yeah.
Like just the terrible version of a remake hitting beat for beat the same just kind of gets
Yeah, it just it undermines his whole vision, I think, which is unfortunate. Again, it wasn't probably going to be a great movie, but it was something. It was something different. It's like remakes have to justify their existence, and it felt like it was at least attempting to really justify it to a point, and then afterwards it was like, and whatever. Like it just falls back into the same
I don't
place.
know, whatever. Malcolm McDowell gets killed. And
Yeah.
he shoots him. Have
Okay.
you guys watched the sequel by any chance?
No, I've not, but I've looked into it, and apparently I do actually want to watch it
You
because
do?
because apparently that one it turns up like the Rob Zombie-ish stuff like way more, and it gets way more trippy. Apparently, it gets way more like visual stuff. There's a thing with like a white horse, and I've only heard really bad things about the sequel, but I am just interested because I do want to see what
why
Rob
not?
Zombie
I
does.
honestly want to just watch all of the Halloween movies at this point, just because
Yeah.
you can always have a good time. It's not always good, but you can always
Yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I do want to see the sequel. I feel like it would be a fun watch, like with our friends.
Yeah.
Like maybe with a few drinks.
Yeah, that could be a good time. Why not? I think that's like that's the main thing with the lot. Yeah, like you said, a lot of the Halloween movies, even the direct sequel to the first one, it's not a great movie like the first one, but at
it's
least
fun.
yeah, but at least it's fun. If it wasn't a Halloween movie, it still
can
would have
still
just been
watch
like
it.
a fun slasher film. It's
Don't you
watchable.
want to watch a teenager burn to death? That scene is so funny. And then they have to make it even worse when that one kid, we're worried about our friend. And Dr. Loomis is just like, shit.
Okay, so let's wrap this one up. Do you guys want to give final thoughts and opinions on Rob Zombie's Halloween? Blake?
Well, I think it's not good. The first half is a bad take on Halloween. It's just a bad take on trying to be nuanced Halloween. And then the second half or last quarter of the movie is just kind of a shitty version of the original. I will say that I found some of it entertaining, I guess, but most of it just bored me. But you know me, I always have to give points if someone's actually trying. Even if it's bad, I gotta throw in some points. So
For sure.
I'll give this one the bargain bin.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, that's not bad.
Rosie, what do you think?
I do agree that it's not good. That's for sure. Like you said, like they try to be nuanced, and it's like, I don't know, Rob Zombie niche kind of take on Halloween. But yeah, I just didn't like it really. It was not that captivating. There were entertaining moments, like one interesting character, but I agree, like bargain bin. That's second to lowest, right?
Yeah.
Yes, then I will put that in the bargain bin. And maybe if I find it in the bargain bin, I'll be like, oh, hey, guys, check it out. Like, do you remember this? Ha ha. But I'm not going to buy it. But
I'm probably never gonna
still,
watch it again.
Yeah, bargain bin.
Okay. Yeah, for me I respect the attempt. I think that he really did try to make it his own version of Halloween, which is admirable. He tried his own spin to it. If you like Rob Zombie movies, you'll probably like this one again
then
to a
watch
point.
it.
Yeah. If you don't like Rob Zombie films, this definitely is not going to win you over to like that camp. This movie's not going to be the one that's like, oh wait, this one's actually good. You're probably not going to like it. I'd say I give the sequel a chance just because it looks like it's trippy and everything, and it's like, yeah, that could be fun. For this one though, it's really a fail attempt, but brownie points for trying and for having good, like, I'll give him some props for he has a technical style to his film, which I respect. It does have that gritty feel, but it's consistent throughout. The violence is brutal
Okay.
and pretty convincing.
That's fair.
The effects are really, I think, are pretty good. And like it's got its own little charm to it that I'm gonna put it. I'm going to say streaming with ads. Like, if it's on TV, I might give it like, half a watch. I'm not really going to like, invest in it or anything or like try to like really pay attention. If I'm going to choose to watch a Halloween film, there's like 4 others I'd rather watch than this one, but I'll give it streaming with ads.
That's absolutely fair,
yeah.
I guess.
Okay. All right. Now let's move on to the most recent installment in the Halloween franchise, the second part in the new Halloween trilogy, Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills!
Okay, so Halloween Kills. Here we go.
I guess we should briefly talk about Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, set it up.
Just to compare it, we'll say this. Rob Zombie's Halloween, complete reboot, right?
Yeah.
Halloween 2018, it's more like The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
tries to
a-
like revitalize the franchise, go back to what made the original work in a way.
It's kind of trying to be like a sequel and a reboot at the same time by pushing forward. So this specific iteration, as we've already said, just drops the sister thing. So this one just takes place. Do you know what the time jump is?
Fuck. It's 40 years.
40 years.
40
yeah,
years
to the
after
day.
the events of the first Halloween.
So Laurie Strode is now like a crazy person that lives alone because she's terrified that Michael Myers is going to come back. And she's kind of distanced herself from her family because of this. And the movie kind of just follows her and two douchey true crime podcasters.
Yeah.
Kind of going, although they're really only in the first beginning.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to break down this film. I mean, I don't really want to talk about it too much. I think I'll just give my opinion. It's not terrible. I don't think it's like good, but it's watchable. It has a plot, which I have to specify because Halloween
Yeah.
Kills.
No.
One thing I will say though, I do have a criticism, not even of it, but of its place as a sequel.
2018, yes.
2018. I kind of feel like it's trying to have its cake and eat it too in a way. If they only want to have the first one be canon, this feels like, yeah, they take the steps where technically only the first one's canon, but also it kind of feels like the context of Michael Myers exists. Like,
Yeah.
in the context of this movie, Michael Myers killed 5 people and then went to prison. Why is Laurie so afraid of him? Like, it would just seem like a crazy person, like, tried to kill her once.
Yeah.
I know that, like, obviously that would cause a lot of trauma, but it really feels like she knows about the history of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she knows he keeps coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there really isn't any. I mean, he's not related to her. He hasn't spent his whole life trying to kill her. It's been 40 years. He hasn't broken out. It feels very much like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel.
Yeah. If anything, I would have preferred. It's really hard to say because it's like it feels like it was trying to stay away from H2O's approach, which is basically Laurie is like moved on the rest of her life. That one's only a direct sequel to the second film where she moves on. She
Oh, God,
she
these
runs away
movies.
to California and she decides to like just live her life there. And then eventually Michael tracks her down and
How does he
begins
get to
killing
California?
people. I don't
Does he
fucking-
walk?
No, he drives.
He walks everywhere.
He drives, which
just-
is
Oh,
which
he
is
does know
another
how
thing.
to drive.
Yeah,
he
which-
does know how to drive.
yeah, which is another thing too, because in the first one, they're like they basically bring up because it's a little impractical, right? Because he's been in prison since he was a kid, so they're like, how does he know how to drive? And Loomis is just like, maybe someone was giving him lessons, like whatever, just don't think about it, which is fine. Like I don't really give a shit, like whatever, he can drive, who cares? But like in that one, he tracks her down, and he just starts killing people, and then whatever, and they of course they establish that he was his brother, she's his brother. What you get what I'm trying to say. And in this one, I do understand that. Where it does
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
if it's like if it had been a sequel to H2O, which was it's not a good movie, but at least it comes with that extra
Or
caveat.
even be like a sequel to like Halloween 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like in that case, it's like not only did they, he tracked them down. In the first movie, yeah, he's this like psychomaniac person who broke out of a psych ward and then went on a murdering spree and attacked her, and she was able to barely escape with her life. In the second one, it's like, oh shit, he comes back again because he's really trying to hunt her down and kill her, and then he goes on another killing spree, and then they finally kill him in the end of that one. But then it's
quote,
like,
quote.
yeah, but it's like he somehow survives, and then again in H2O, he goes down and he tracks her down again and he kills her, and it's like, I completely understand the paranoia. I completely get why she would like turn her house and turn into like a major survival.
But in like
person.
this version,
In
it's
this
a little,
version,
like, it's
yeah.
like, because especially with the context of the first one, if it's been 40 years, it's coincidentally she had a run-in with Michael Myers. They're acting like this is some like destiny. Well, which I will say, this movie does do one thing interesting that I kind of like.
What?
The whole like evil Dr. Loomis kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of,
So that is
yeah.
interesting.
Oh, that's
Like,
like,
However,
he's
I don't think
setting
it's
you up.
I don't think it's great, but it's interesting. However, you can have that. However, Laurie being terrified of Michael Myers, like to this day, and building like a sanctum, it just feels like like I said, it feels like
it's reaching.
they're
a
trying
bit.
to grab context from movies they're not direct sequeling.
Yeah, they're not canon
Yeah.
according to this timeline, right?
Yes.
So yeah, no, I completely understand that. It's like, yeah, if it had been at least a sequel to the second one, I would get it more. Why she's like, no, you don't understand. This
He
dude
does not die.
Yeah, he keeps coming back. Like he's gonna find me. He's gonna try to kill me. He's done it multiple times before. Understandable.
And they even go out of their way to like directly. I feel like I don't know if it's a joke or if it's them just informing audience, but that one line, wasn't it her brother? And she was like, no, you dumbass. Like, I don't know if that was just a funny joke or that was actually them trying to inform their audience. Guys, we're not doing that.
No,
Maybe
I think
both.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
a
think
little
that's
bit of both.
fine. Yeah, because it does have to reestablish that, right? Because people
Have that in their mind.
yeah, people
Yeah.
that who've watched the franchise or tried to keep up with it, again, good luck. But also, like, it's confusing because it's like, wait, so she was her brother, but she's not his brother or her sister. So it's like it does create a little convolutedness. But I think I way more prefer that she's not related to him. I don't like that they're related. I like that he basically just saw her, became obsessed with her because she kind of reminded him of his sister, and then she got away. She's the one person that he tried to kill that gets away besides like the kids, but they do come back to that in Halloween Kills. But like he gets out of there, and then he's like, son of a bitch, like she keeps
Yeah,
slipping
yeah.
through my fingers.
I think
So
that
yeah, he tries to kill her again.
that
Unfinished
makes him
business.
But
so
anyways.
much scarier as a slasher too, because it's
Anyway.
like you don't have to be related to him to be a target.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, it goes with that whole shape, faceless, evil thing, where it's just like sometimes it's just targeted at people for no reason. It's just like happenstance. It's terrible. It kind of reminds me of The Wailing, when like evil, like the evil demon thing is kind of just fishing, and it just happens to come across this person. Is like, well, guess what? Your entire life is about to be ruined just because. And it's like that's way more creepy to me than it's like, oh, if you're not related to him or you're not anywhere near him,
You're probably fine.
yeah. It's like it's not that big a deal.
But anyways, I don't really have that much to say about Halloween 2018.
No, that's fine. We can move on.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Do you guys
Yeah.
have anything else you want to say? No.
It's kind of just a boring studio horror movie.
I would say no. I would give it a little more credit. I think it really tries to like set things back on track. It does. It goes a little bit further. I mean, the whole podcast thing really just goes nowhere. It feels like they were literally just there to give him his mask.
Yeah,
I forgot
is
that
it.
was even a thing.
That's the entire reason they're there, so he can get his mask back.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to figure out like, Rob Zombie did it where he hid it under the floorboards. Other movies, again, people just fucking give it to him. So in this one, they're just like, the podcasters bring it.
Couldn't evil Dr. Loomis have just given it to him?
Yeah, no,
That
really.
would have actually made more sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would have made
But
way
whatever.
more sense.
So evil Dr. Loomis, just in case. I mean, I'm sure everyone listening has seen it, but like evil Dr. Loomis.
He's basically this guy who becomes he picks up after where Loomis picks off because he just died in the original one, like
Well,
just
and
the
to be fair,
timeline.
he's old.
Yeah, in this timeline, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the real actor passed away too, so he passed away, and then this new psychologist steps in and decides to like he becomes obsessed with Michael, right? He's like he wants to understand how he works, why he likes killing people, and the twist is that he actually wants to encourage Michael to kill people and stuff. So
Yeah.
he actually stages an escape for him as he's like they're transferring him. He actually somehow, Palpatine has returned. No, he
Somehow Michael Myers has returned.
yeah. So somehow he like, crashes the bus or whatever. And then like he lets Michael escape and run free and just start murdering people and stuff. And then eventually at the end, he's like reveals himself to be the person who put him on this path again. And then
Yeah.
he
like wants to study him
Yeah.
outside of the hospital
Yeah, in
and
his
what
natural
he
habitat.
would like behave like
Yeah.
in real life.
Interesting. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
in love with it, but
I'm fine with it. He does put on the mask at a certain point, and that's just really fucking dumb and weird. It's like, what? I don't get that, but whatever. I guess I kind of see it because he wants to see things through his eyes.
Deranged.
Yeah. It's interesting, but whatever. So then, okay, so now we pick up with, so at the end of Halloween, which by the way, I hate the fact that there are 3 films called Halloween in this franchise. It bugs the crap out of me.
especially because this is like Halloween 2018 is trying to be a direct sequel to the
Yeah,
original.
it-
Why
Very
not just give it?
confusing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they already used the name Halloween Resurrection or Return of Michael Myers or Curse of Michael Myers. It's like they've used a lot of the fucking names already.
Cliches.
Yeah, whatever. They could have called it something else, but whatever. So this Halloween 2018, at the very end, they trap Michael in the basement and they begin to burn the house down, and they leave and they think, oh, yay, thank God he's
We
dead.
did it, team.
But turns out not.
Girls, get it done.
So-
He immediately murders an entire fire department.
So the plot to this movie is there is no plot.
yeah, they're really not really.
Can
Yeah,
you
there's
try?
no
Can you
plot.
try and should I or should you try to break down the plot, or should we both give our takes on it? Because it's
Yeah,
really-
you go for it. You go for it.
okay. It's kind of hard to put into words. So Michael Myers escapes the fire and starts murdering firemen.
Yes.
Simultaneously,
So far,
they
so
start
good.
they start doing kind of retconny flashbacks of, and then this happens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To like set up certain characters.
Which I feel like they should have probably set up in the last one, but whatever.
Like in 2018, Michael Myers just immediately starts walking into houses and killing people. Which, by the way, is one of my biggest problems with Halloween 2018 is that he breaks out and then just like immediately walks into a house. And,
I
like,
mean, it's Michael Myers. It makes sense.
but in terms of like being a good movie, whatever.
look, a
We're
person
far
must
from that.
kill,
We're very
must kill.
far. We're far from that in this franchise.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, so Michael Myers immediately murders the fuck out of a bunch of firefighters. We're getting simultaneous flashbacks to, I guess, the night of the OG Halloween that we didn't see. Michael Myers is en route to his original house while the town bands together to kill Michael Myers. They have this annoying arc words of "Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight."
Yeah.
Evil dies tonight.
And basically nothing happens the entire movie, and then at the very end of the movie, they try to kill Michael Myers and fail. And Jamie Lee Curtis has nothing to do the entire movie.
No, really, she's just there. She's mainly sitting in a hospital bed the whole time.
Yeah, bleeding out.
I'm sorry, really quick. This movie has like the funniest unintentional bad line. Feels like very Christopher Nolan-y, actually.
Which
Where
one?
there's a riot, and then in the background, someone goes, "Michael Myers is here." That feels like a Christopher Nolan line.
No more dead cops.
No more dead cops.
Okay, so yeah, I'll break it down in my way. So, so basically, they show a flashback to a character from Halloween 2018, Officer Hawkins, who was there the night that Michael went on his first killing spree in 1978. He apparently, his partner, he accidentally shoots his own partner, killing him, and then fails to kill Michael as his partner just bleeds out. And his partner's like, "Did you at least kill him?" And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
By the way, that guy's handsome as fuck.
Who,
His
the
par-
cop?
his
guy?
partner?
I knew that's who you
That
were
guy is
talking
like,
about.
what-
Blake saw his movie first, and he told us that one of the dudes is super handsome, and I couldn't figure out
We
who
were
it was.
trying to figure
Really?
it out
Yeah.
through
You
like
seen
most
the
of
man?
the movie.
That's wow.
We didn't even think maybe that
Henry
was him towards
Cavill, you
the
gotta
end.
retire, bro. This is our new Superman.
Are you talking about Jim Cummings, that
The guy that
dude?
gets shot in the neck. And then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all,
I don't know the actor's name.
That guy? Whatever. The point is, the guy who dies, apparently he's very handsome.
He is very handsome. Get the fuck out of here.
He's all right.
classic good looks.
Classic handsome man.
Okay, so he fails to kill him. Loomis is in this version again because it picks up right after the first one. Michael is still kind of like he kind of gets away, and then like Loomis is just like has the gun to his head and is just about to just finish off Michael. He's like, "Sweet, this is it, man!" And then Hawkins stops him. He's like, "No, don't do it. Don't kill this evil monster man." So then
He's a person.
yeah. So then
You're
he gets
making
away.
this sound so much better set up than it actually is, by
Well,
the way.
it's because they do terrible flashbacks, like back and forth, like going like
Intermixed
casually. Yeah,
Because
like
there's nothing to this movie.
yeah, no, really. And then after that, they show at the bar on Halloween night all of the victims from the first movie, which. To the movie's credit, they bring back a lot of the actors from the first movie,
Which is cool.
yeah, which is really cool. Most of them, except for the kid who plays Tommy, who is replaced by who's the actor? He's from a lot of '80s movies. I can't remember right now. Anthony Michael Hall, who is it's a great actor.
Michael
But-
Hall?
Yeah, Michael Hall, Michael C. Hall. No, so he comes back, and then they're all like basically celebrating the fact that they survived Michael, and they're like, yeah, fuck that guy. We're not going to be scared on Halloween. We're gonna enjoy our lives. So forget that dude. And then of course the news breaks out, and it's like, holy crap, Michael is like killing everybody again. He's on a rampage.
We were wrong.
Yeah, and then it starts up the whole mob mentality where Anthony Michael Hall leads this group of vigilantes. He's like, we're gonna go fucking kill this guy. We're all gonna go team up and we're gonna kill this dude. Fuck this, and that's where the quote "evil dies tonight."
Oh god, it is so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
by the
evil
way.
dies tonight, and that's like the big thing is they're all just gonna go out and kill him, and they are the most useless mob in the history of mobs.
They are so useless. It's
So-
almost impressive.
Yeah, it's really like, first of all, they end up going after the wrong guy. They end up just killing, which I really wish they'd played up more into the fact that like not only Michael escaped that night, right? Is a bunch of like criminally insane people escaped. And so they kind of lean into that where they wrongfully think that this other criminally insane guy is Michael. So they're chasing him down for, because they're just like, that guy for some reason. I think that guy's the guy.
That's where the infamous Michael Myers is here.
Yeah, so they go after him. Eventually, they go to protect Lori at the hospital because she's recovering, and then they're like, "We're gonna protect you." So the whole mob is just riled up in the hospital. They're like, he's gonna come back." Which again, if they're retconning the sequel, it made more sense if the sequel was canon, because in that one, Michael actually does go to the hospital to kill Lori as she's recovering. In this one, there's not much real setup for that, other than I guess no, I'll take that back, because he does actually go find her at her house and tries to kill her there. So it's good enough reason to think that he's probably going to try to track her down again. So, but still a little silly. So then they decide to like just be at the hospital, and then the random patient guy who's the Umbrella Man from the first 2018 one, if you remember that one. They decide it's him, so they all just trying to kill this random dude who very obviously is not Michael.
Yes.
He's not the same physicality as him.
Not
He's not
even
wearing the
close.
mask. He's still wearing like the mental patient
He's
stuff.
talking.
Yeah, he's talking. He's saying stuff. It's like Michael hasn't said anything in 40 fucking years, and you think that suddenly now he's like a little chatterbox.
He's like, "Hey, help me, guys."
Yeah, so then
What?
they all try to kill him. They eventually pin him into one corner. Judy Greer is the only one who knows that it's not him, and rather than trying to tell people that, she just locks him inside of a hallway, and then as they're trying to break in to kill him, the poor dude just jumps out a window and just kills himself.
She does try to tell them, but you can't hear her over like the mob and all the evil dies tonight.
Yeah, and then he dies, and then they immediately are like, oh shit, that wasn't him.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad, not that guy. Anyways, we're still gonna stop this dude, and they just like gloss over the fact that they just murdered a somewhat innocent man. I mean, I'm sure he was locked up for a reason, but I don't know.
He wasn't
So
Michael Myers.
Yeah, he wasn't Michael Myers. And while this is all happening, Michael is still on a killing rampage, just killing people, seemingly for no reason. He goes back to his old house,
Kills
which
Big John and Little John.
yeah,
Aw,
Big John
Big
and
Lo-
Little John.
and Little John.
Who,
I got this knife. I got this knife.
Big John,
Little John.
Big John.
Little John.
And then no more Big John and Little John. They both get brutally murdered, which is like, again, one of the most gruesome deaths in these two movies is like
They get
Little John.
stabbed with their big knife and little knife.
Yeah, they each get stabbed with their own knives. And then he puts his thumbs through the eyes of like
Yes.
of Little John, and just his eyeballs pop out. It's like, holy crap.
I've been watching a lot of media with
Yeah.
thumb popping eyes out lately.
Yeah, super brutal, which was fine. Honestly, I'm fine with that. That's fun.
The
Whatever.
the kills were very entertaining in this movie.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
give
they were
them that.
brutal.
Yeah, they were brutal and creative in their own ways,
Yeah.
which is fine. They even like recreated the moment from the first one where like he breaks the window with his hand with the nurse inside. They like recreated that pretty much the same way, which was fine. But again, it also has one of the most hilarious deaths, as in like one of the doctor, this lady, she has this giant fucking like Desert Eagle like gun. And then she like jumps out the window to find Michael, who is on top of their car, and then she like
Runs away.
Yeah, she
for
like
some
runs away or
reason?
something because
Lets him
eventually
kill the people she's with.
yeah, he lets Michael kill her husband and the nurse, and then she comes running in from who knows where, and then she starts blankly like just wildly shooting at Michael, missing like crazy, and then Michael just kicks the door, knocks the gun towards her own fucking head, and then she blows her own head off and dies.
Boom, on the floor.
I legit was like laughing.
It was
like,
hilarious.
I couldn't help but burst out laughing because it was just so ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, so then Michael goes killing everybody there. Eventually, Laurie's granddaughter tracks him down with her useless boyfriend, and then the
Who I
mob
thought
eventually.
was about to get like the Steve Harrington treatment, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
But I kind of.
He kind of redeems
I
himself.
was like, I don't know. I was like, okay. I guess he's gonna be here for the whole trilogy. Oh, I guess not.
No.
I do
And he
love
kinda-
that he was in a skirt the whole time.
Yeah, he's still dressed as Bonnie, which is funny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought like, okay, so he's gonna be in the whole trilogy. He's gonna be a fun character.
Spoiler alerts.
He gets
He gets snapped
he gets
Nah.
killed like 3
in
different
a
ways.
really weird way.
Yeah, it's like I thought he was already dead
Yeah,
like,
it's a
3
blur.
times. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just like smashing his head through the guardrail thing, sticks his throat, like sticks a spike through his throat, and then snaps his neck. It's like really, really a little gratuitous. Whatever. So then Judy Greer and Laurie's granddaughter like start beating the crap out of Michael or whatever. She lures him outside, and then he gets confronted by the mob. Finally, the mob is there to actually do something. And then they proceed to beat the holy crap out of Michael. And you think it would, kill him, but of course not. And then like after they, beat him and beat him and beat him, they just like, then he just pops up and just immediately
Yeah.
murders
Yeah,
everybody.
Karen stabs him. She walks away. Everyone thinks he's dead. And then, of course, he's not dead. He's Michael Myers.
Yeah, he immediately pops back up and then just murders everyone like it was nothing. Because even though he did that, they was trying to do that the first time, it didn't count. This time, it's the ending of the movie, so he's got to do it. And he kills everybody, and then he just escapes again. And that's this movie. That's
Well, he
Halloween
kills
Kills.
the mom too.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
exact
Then
last
then he brutally kills. Does he kill the granddaughter? I forget.
I don't think so.
No. Oh, but he brutally kills Judy Greer, who goes back up inside the house to look outside the window for some
Oh,
reason,
yeah.
and then he just stabs her to death. And it's like, oh, Karen, no, she's
Because
dead.
they kept talking about him looking out the window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did kind of build. I mean, this movie's version of the setup.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's honestly just it. Like you honestly make it sound better, and you don't even make it sound that good. But it's like essentially plotless. There's like nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's not even really any characters. It doesn't really build upon the first one that great. It's just this weird wandering movie, and honestly, I find a lot of it visually kind of boring too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
did.
No, I feel like the
Like, at
first one
least
was
the
a little bit more
2018
inspired.
At
Yeah.
least the 2018 had some. I mean, it's not like a masterpiece or anything, but it's fun looking. There were some cool shots. Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the one where she like. It's like towards the beginning of the 2018 one where she like walks that frame and then through the back and then walks back in. Like, there's a couple of cool
Yeah.
things going on. This one just like kind of flat.
Yeah,
do a
no,
lot
it
of
was,
it.
it was very flat, honestly. They had good callbacks. They had a lot of pieces there to do something more interesting, and they just didn't. It just felt like a rehash I honestly the second one, because in the second one they do something similar where they have a mob again the same night Michael goes on his murdering spree. They go to Michael's old house and they're just like smashing windows and they're just like fuck this, and like they practically are chanting like evil dies tonight or whatever.
It's
Like,
not. It's
No.
better.
yeah, it's honestly way better because it's like it felt more organic. Like these people were just like fuck this, and they just like went and just started like breaking down his house and just wanting to kill him. And yeah, in this one they're just like this headless mob that is just like doing everything wrong.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah,
Evil
apparently.
dies tonight.
And yeah, it's just like it just felt so
Boring.
pointless and
It's
kind of
mostly
boring.
just boring.
A lot of the kills were interesting. There's some parts of it that I think were kind of fun. Like I want to say that like I enjoyed this more, but I don't know. I didn't really like. If I'm gonna watch either of them, it's probably gonna be 2018. Honestly,
Probably gonna be neither.
yeah. No.
I don't know. It's just like I said. It's just there's like nothing inspired about this at all. The
No.
writing, the cinematography, even like the music, like wasn't utilized that well. Which I mean,
No,
I know
yeah.
that
Yeah.
even like obviously like aside from the first one, they really haven't hit that note as well as the first one.
I'll say the 2018 one, they did a really good job. John Carpenter came back in to like redo the score, and I think he really like I don't know if I would say like improved upon it, but he like really like tuned it in more. It felt like he added like this like it felt like it was Halloween in modern times, but like in the best way. Like I really liked how they used the music in the 2018 version. It felt like it was way more improved upon than even a lot of the sequels that I've seen, which was great. Like again, talking about the original sequel, they changed the music and it feels like a someone trying to like avoid a copyright with the first one.
I
don't
hate
know.
how
I don't know what
they
happened.
changed the original theme in the second one.
It's not good.
It's I don't know. It's just like every time you hear it, it's like doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's just like it's a
Off.
weird knockoff. Yeah, like it sounds like when you hear someone do a YouTube cover and it sucks, and you're just like, I'd rather just listen to the original. It's like that.
But yeah, I don't know. This movie just and also, I don't know where they're going with Halloween Ends, which will come
No
out next
idea.
year, right?
Yeah.
No
so
fucking
this
clue.
is the two part of a trilogy for this one. Which, by the way, we should mention Danny McBride is helping write this. By the way, which is just
What?
kind of I don't know. It's kind of hilarious.
The first one is technically a movie.
Yeah.
we
The
can
first
give
one
it
is
that
like
award?
the first one is like actually
That's a movie.
more of a complete film. Yeah, it's got like arcs for the characters. Laurie feels like she's actually there
I
for
just
a
feel like
reason.
nobody
Yeah.
fucking does anything this entire movie.
No.
Nothing really happens, which is the biggest problem.
Yeah,
Fundamentally.
it's like I would say that it's fun to just watch Michael like murdering all these people
it's
and
really
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just it feels like it's missing a lot of the life of even like some of the lesser sequels, which is too bad.
Yeah, I agree.
I know, obviously, this is the unpopular opinion, but I was really entertained. I did only see it the one time about like 2 hours ago, but I thought it was really entertaining. At the beginning, I was kind of optimistic, actually, because it felt like they were like kind of gathering like these, how do you say it?
Like all the characters and
Like
the pieces
all
and
the like, putting together all the pieces, all these characters where you think you would forget about them, but it's like, they're still in this world too. Like they're also affected by Michael Myers.
Yeah.
They have motivation and stuff. So I was like, okay, so this is gonna be like, like a ragtag team of like victims. This could be fun. And then I did think it was kind of funny at times too. Like you said with the lady who shot herself in the face. Like
that's the
I
thing.
thought it was almost like, were they going for something campy? I was like,
I don't
is this
know.
supposed to be funny? Like I couldn't tell.
That was a
It
big
did
thing. Yeah,
seem
the tone felt so weird. Like the
little
first
bit
one felt like it
off.
was trying to play it as straight as possible. Like this is like straight horror Michael Halloween, Myers Halloween film. In the second one, the tone did feel really weird. Where I was like, am I supposed to be laughing at this, or like, is this supposed to be serious?
I don't know. But I do think that like one thing I did admire for sure. I don't know if it was like consistent throughout, but like again, Big John and Little John, but like the stuff shot in their house, like just the color was so nice. Like the color and the lighting, like it did look nice to me for sure.
Yeah, they had some. That was like probably the only place they had
Like a
any actual
redeeming-
art direction or something.
Yeah, and you could tell it showed. That I appreciate. And again, with like the fucking Big John and Little John, like it seemed like they were going for like a humorous thing. So I
Yeah.
thought that it was funny, and with that in mind, like I was pretty entertained throughout the movie. But I do think that like the whole mob thing was kind of pointless.
Again, it felt like they were kind of building towards maybe something a little more nuanced. They had a lot of his previous victims there and
Yeah.
stuff. So it felt like they were trying to go more the route of what the first one did, where it's like the victims of Michael Myers are still scarred by this. Even if you survived, you still deal with like all this ridiculous trauma afterwards. So it felt like like they kind of were building towards that, and then they just don't really. It doesn't go anywhere. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
do anything other than like the mob, which the mob again just felt so stupid.
A lot of the stuff that I thought that they were building for felt super underutilized. Like you said with like the scapegoat guy that they're all like, he needs to die.
Yeah.
Like I totally thought when they're like showing that other patients got out of the bus that they were gonna have like, other
patients,
killers.
yeah.
Like
Something, yeah.
something a little different. like
one
a
other
fresh
thing.
take.
Sorry, before I forget this.
Go.
A lot of this movie is really awkward and just like really weirdly written or shot or acted scenes. The big one being, so when like the couple that like the doctor and the nurse couple,
Yeah.
they're leaving the bar and they're about to get into their car, and she's, oh my god, Michael Myers is in the car. The way they did it, I thought she was kidding.
Totally thought she was
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very like, oh, she's just playing a prank on her husband. But no, Michael Myers is literally in the backseat of her car.
And she does like this awkward runaway, like,
Yeah, she does it very like, like, because horror movies do that a lot. That's a common trope of like, oh my god, look behind you. Ah!
Yeah.
It felt like a moment like that. And this wasn't the only moment. I can't pinpoint another one just because I don't know. But there was a couple moments like that where it's just so like awkwardly done where I don't even know like, yeah, what the fuck the tone is supposed to be.
How am I supposed to
Where I'm
interpret
like,
this?
am I supposed to be scared? Is this a joke? Like what? I don't know. The whole movie is just this.
All right, you guys want to wrap this up? Give overall opinions on this film and then our ratings.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, you want to start this off, Rosie?
Oh, you want me to start it? All right.
Did Evil die tonight?
So yeah, I definitely think that it could be better. It had potential. I think if they tried to make it a little like embrace the goofiness of it. I know it's like not at all a Halloween kind of trait, but I think if they did it, it could have been like a pretty watchable movie.
Some of the Halloween movies get pretty goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you get to the Cult of the Thorn.
Oh god.
other
Oh no,
stuff.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. those-
But I did see a video about it, and it did seem kind of goofy now that you mention it. But I think I'm going for like a generous rating when I say this, and I don't know if I'm going to regret it or not. If I watch this again, I might take it back. But definitely one of the streamings. Premium streaming, but can it only be during like the spooky season?
Sure.
Can I add that in there?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spooky
I think that's
season,
way too
premium
high for it, but-
streaming.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
I think
Philip
it
would-
could be
Philip
fun.
would
I think
argue
it
with
could
you
be
that
fun.
That's not a real rating.
I can already hear his voice like, oh, really?
No,
yeah.
you would argue that that's not a real rating. You
Oh,
wouldn't care
no, of
about your
course. But
opinion.
I've listened to the podcast. I know that none of the ratings actually matter.
All right, Blake,
Yeah, well-
how about you?
I'll go with that.
It's essentially a fucking waste of my time. Like, I think I'd rather watch the Rob Zombie movie. It's nothing happens. It's a weird, unfinished script. It's awkwardly done. It has no visual flair. Essentially, every aspect of filmmaking is failed here. It's just a real fucking boring, useless movie. Shit bucket.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
All right.
Yeah, shit bucket.
I'll say that-
Lifeless, devoid of anything.
Black is the lack of any color, actually.
Oh yeah,
You
I
like
read
black?
about that.
Yeah.
Black's the lack of any color. Or the absence.
Yeah, you know what? It's like, yeah. It again, it sets up a lot of those kind of interesting themes. It kind of like it lays some of the groundwork for what could have been a potentially interesting sequel to Halloween 2018. But it fails to do any of that. Some of the kills were fun. Some of them were like, interesting. If you like the Halloween franchise, you'll probably like this. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say because I do like the Halloween franchise and I didn't really like it. So I don't know, but I know other people like it for various reasons. Like you said in the beginning of this episode, it's a choose your own adventure book. It's like you can really, however the fuck you like Halloween, you can find something that'll, that you'll like in it. So maybe you'll like this one. I don't know. I'd say maybe give it a chance, but for me, I'd put it streaming with ads, and even that feels a little generous because it's like I don't see myself
feel
ever really
generous.
wanting to watch this again. If I was gonna rewatch any of the sequels, I'd rather watch Halloween 2 than watch this one.
Well, I mean, Halloween 2's got its own charm.
Yeah. I mean, eventually maybe we'll talk about the other sequels.
Yeah,
someday.
maybe next year when Halloween ends, we can do a deeper of a dive. It was unfortunate not everyone could be here because I think this would have definitely gone on longer. But
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
let's
4-hour
next
episode.
year, book your calendars. When Halloween Ends comes out, we'll do a Halloween deep dive.
Yeah, let us know which Halloween movies you want us to cover specifically. Let us know in the comments, and then we'll see if we can get into them. Yeah, all right. So right above the shit bucket, streaming with ads.
That's too generous.
Hanging by a thread above the shit bucket.
Yeah.
Put it in
Well,
the
I
shit
think-
bucket,
That's
Ron. Evil
Bargain
dies
is above
tonight.
the shit bucket.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening tonight, or for today, whenever you're listening to this. Let us know, comment, and please hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot, and it helps our channel. If you guys
Please. No, do it.
Happy
Do it. Do it.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, folks. Enjoy your Halloween. What are you guys doing tonight? What's your costume? I'm going to be Frankenstein. Yeah.
Why?
Well, Rosie.
I'm going to be Dr. Frankenstein.
I'm gonna be motherfucking Dexter.
Nice.
Oh, you know what this movie needed? It needed Peter Weller going, motherfucking evil dies tonight. Do it. You do it better, Peter Weller.
Evil dies tonight.
What a stupid fucking name.
Michael Myers, what a stupid fucking name. I don't really give a fuck about Michael Myers, and I don't really give a fuck about Loomis either.
That bitch put cuffs on me. You mess with the bull, you get the horn.
Oh my God. Go watch the Dexter review.
For some
else you're not
context
gonna,
there.
yeah, get
or if
any
you
of
know,
these jokes.
yeah, if you know Peter Weller, you probably get it.
That motherfucker put his knife in my chest.
Anyway,
Thank you.
guys for
Happy
listening.
Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.
Halloween!